Welcome back, everybody, to a very special J&T in the evenings here. That's right, just us two UD boys out here. Week 11 picks. And before we roll right into this one, make sure if you like our content, subscribe to the channel, interact with us. We've always got videos 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week. You don't want to miss any of that. Guys, we already had one week 11 game here. It was the Eagles and the Commanders. Now, unfortunately, no Josh with us to tell him how wrong he was about the Commanders game, but Tyler and I knew what was going on. Great game by the Eagles to win, but Saquon really helped carry that team, especially towards the end, getting those couple of touchdowns. There's a lot of offensive concerns for the Eagles, and they may be one of the best NFC teams right now. But all this showed me was that no team in the NFC East is going to the Super Bowl this year. The Eagles offense got lucky to get past Washington, and Washington honestly looks like a fraud team at this point, going 0-4 against teams over 500. So, rookie quarterback, though, Commanders do have a bright future ahead of them, but Terry McLaurin was held in check. So was Devontae Smith. Goddard had a pretty good game. So did Brown. Saquon was the main headline, though. And you just continue to see these running backs outperforming their pay. It's incredible. But another game that's going to feature two really good running backs that recently have been underplaying. Cleveland Browns at the New Orleans Saints. Nick Chubb, Alvin Kamara, Myles Garrett, Derek frickin' Carr. Tyler, who are you taking in this very ugly 1 o'clock game?
I'm gonna take the Cleveland Browns, and I mean the Saints. Should I say the Aints? They ain't been doing a lot of winning, and they've been reeling lately. And I think that the Browns are gonna go into New Orleans. I think that Jameis is. I think good Jameis is gonna show up on Sunday. Back where he used to play, and I think we're gonna see the Browns win. I don't think it's gonna be.
Definitely.
I don't think it's going to be a good looking win. I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But I don't know. Go with the Browns.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm taking the Browns too, man. Like you said, the Saints just ain't been doing it. And coming home in New Orleans, you got Winston coming back. He did play good here, had a couple seasons. So that's going to be the main storyline going into this, the return of the prodigy, if you will. So give me the Browns, man. Another very ugly game I think we could be looking at, the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. If you joined us earlier in the week, the Colts are going back to Anthony Richardson. This will be his first start after 2 games with Joe Flacco. And they're playing a struggling New York Jets team that, let's be honest, if this keeps going out, this is probably Aaron Rodgers' last year. So, Tyler, what you thinking?
Yeah. Other than the Jets being woeful this year and the Colts going back to Anthony Richardson, I mean we're hitting to the point in the season where there's no storylines for this game. I mean, the Jets would have to win out to even have hopes of a playoff berth. The Colts. I mean, they're what they're 4-6. Yeah, they're four
I
and
believe
six.
they're currently I believe the Colts are currently the 7th seed or the 8th seed. They're one spot above Cincinnati.
Oh, let's look it up here.
They do have a tough remaining schedule, and I know you're very hopeful of Anthony Richardson, thinking these teams don't give the young quarterbacks enough shots.
So right now the Colts are the 8 seed, Bengals are the 9. Also, I really
They're
like,
right.
huh?
They're right there. The Colts are right there if they can turn
Yeah,
it around.
yeah. I mean, if they get a win, and if the Bengals happen to lose to the Chargers, I mean, the Colts really solidify their places um, as the first team out. This is a huge weekend for the AFC. I was going to say I really like this website for it helps towards the end of the year to show matchups. But anyways, let's get back to it. I'll show you that later. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Like I said, we're getting to the point where there's just no storylines for a lot of these games. I am, I guess, gonna go with the Jets. Maybe. I don't know. Does it really matter? I mean, I don't know.
Like you said, this is one of those games that Josh Allen is going to be listening to on the radio on his way to the stadium. But give me the Colts in this one. I've been riding the Jets all year. They've been making it tough. Richardson spent a couple games on the bench. He's pissed off. I think he's going to come in and really show out here. The Jets defense hasn't been living up to standards.
Yeah. Um, next, Packers Bears. Um, what do you see happening here?
Man, the Packers are going to go into Chicago and make Caleb Williams look like a high school quarterback, a high school freshman at that. Caleb has been a big disappointment to the Bears, almost like somebody on this side of the screen called it. You can blame Matt Eberflus, but we did say, why would you get rid of Fields and not get rid of Eberflus? Bring in a new coach, so that way if you are going to take Williams, you got someone fresh to start him off with instead of the same old system you knew didn't work with Fields when you're bringing in a quarterback with a similar skill set in this scenario. But the Packers have been looking like a really good team quietly. They're winning games and they're winning them well. They're playing good in all four phases. So I just can't see Chicago doing this. Brett Favre passed the keys to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers passed the keys to Jordan Love. They unfortunately own Soldier Field. So they're going to be making a lot of money this weekend. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers as well. Having a bye week last week after the shellacking that they took against the Lions a couple weeks ago. Um, the Packers. I mean, they put up 14. It was only a 10-point game, but anyone who watched the game knows it was not that close whatsoever. Um,
Yeah.
it was pouring down rain for most of the game. Just an ugly 60 minutes of football. Um, and I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like in Chicago tomorrow, but I'm sure it's not going to be sunny and 75. Um, so maybe we might see another rain game. But I am going to go with the Packers here. The Bears, they had a chance to be 5-2. If they could have held on for one more play against the Commanders, they could be 5-2. And instead, everything has just fallen down ever since then. They've been on a landslide, and part of it is due to Caleb's performance. Part of it is due to coaching staff. Part of it is due to just being the Bears and just the ineptitude of the franchise. I mean, there's some sports franchises that just can't seem to do anything right, can't seem to get out of their own way. The Bears, they take the generational quarterback that and everyone, a lot of people thought that Caleb Williams was going to be a clear, best quarterback out of the draft. And the Bears didn't want to be the team that passed on Caleb Williams to take Jaden Daniels, who hadn't had as many headlines, and they take Caleb, and then Jaden starts out his career on a heater, and that's kind of just the Bears in a nutshell for the past 30 years, 40 years.
So next game, we got Jaguars at Lions. This also ain't much of a game. The Lions are going to completely stomp the Jags. They've just looked lost. And honestly, the injuries are stacking up. You got another game without Trevor Lawrence. You get Mac Jones here. They're getting ETN back finally, but Tanks Bigby's going to be out for this game. Christian Kirk suffered a season-ending injury earlier in the year. The best thing that could have happened to Doug Peterson was these Jaguars to get hurt because the injuries stacking up is going to be just enough to make an excuse why the team didn't play well. He should be fired. He has been a terrible coach this year. He's lost the locker room, but somehow he still has a job week in and week out. And I really think it's because of those injuries. So I think he squeaks by another job, another week here with his job in a very ugly loss coming up to Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Obviously they don't have to worry about whether it's raining or anything tomorrow. Not gonna affect the game. And the Jaguars. I mean, I gotta give them credit. They did hold the Vikings to only 12 points last week, but they got Mac Jones starting a quarterback, and that's worse than the situation with Trevor Lawrence, which, as Josh is very well aware, has taken a turn for the worst. So I'm going to go with the Lions in an easy game here.
Speaking of Minnesota, Tyler, we've got the Vikings going on the road to Tennessee. Now, before I pick a winner, Minnesota has the talent top to bottom on this roster. There is no reason why they truly shouldn't win this game. But what I want to look at is the Tennessee Titans. They are 2-7. Tyler, can we pull up what their win-loss week in, week out is like for the Titans? Because if I remember correctly, they've been in some really close games here. They just haven't been able to finish.
Well, they lost a touchdown to the Bears, touchdown to the Jets, two scores to the Packers. They lost by 3 to the Colts, 14 to the Bills, 38 to the Lions. They lost by 10 to the Chargers. They beat the Patriots. They got a sneaky good defense.
See, they do have a sneaky good defense. This has been a pretty good team that hasn't had the offense with Will Levis to capitalize. But I could see, and I know you're going to hate saying this, trap game for the Minnesota Vikings, being 7-2 and having such a great season with Sam Darnold, and he's been collapsing down since then. His season has looked really bad after that 5-0 start. He's lost. I believe the Vikings haven't won any NFC North games yet. Possibly the Bears. Have they beat anybody in the North yet?
They beat the Packers by 2.
Packers by 2. By 2. Okay. And that's it?
So you've got played the Lions and the Packers, so.
Yeah, so you're halfway through the season. You're looking at the same thing as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has not played a team yet in the conference. The Minnesota's got a really rough half-second schedule. They took advantage of a weak first-half schedule. This could be a trap game. Tennessee might get the win here, and that's why I'm taking them.
I don't think I'm going to go as far as to say Tennessee is going to win, but Vikings -6, wow. I don't think it gets much more of a blowout than that. I do think the Vikings win, but I'm going to take Tennessee to keep it close.
Okay. Respect, man. Another ugly game, Raiders at Dolphins. I cannot believe how many 2-win, 3-win teams we have in the AFC North. Josh and I were out here toting that we are the better conference, and we just haven't looked like it. This is another one of those ugly games we're going to be looking at, and I don't think it's going to be close, man. The Dolphins beat up on bad teams very well. It's at home in Miami. I'm going to assume it'll be warm. The Raiders are banged up with injuries. I think they're starting Gardner Minshew this week. I couldn't tell you. They flip-flop every week. Tyreek is hurt, but he's holding off to the end of the season for surgery. I think this could be a big game for Jalen Waddle. All around, though, this could be a 70-point performance by the Dolphins. So give me them.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. And there's been a lot of hype on social media the last couple of weeks about can the Dolphins, can they make a run? I mean, let's see. They are currently 10th behind the Bengals. So, like I said, same with the Colts. If the Dolphins can win and the Bengals lose, and say the Colts do lose, I'd put Miami at 4-6, and they might be the first. Let's see. So if they go, so let's take the Jets. That one doesn't matter. Let's take them. And then let's go Miami, and then let's see if Los Angeles. So then, yeah, Miami would be 4-6 with the Chargers winning, and then the Jets winning, and the Dolphins winning, which I don't think.
So even though Miami is playing terrible, they're still very much alive in this race. That's insane to me.
The hardest part for them is there's no way they can win the division. They would have to absolutely. I mean, they'd have to win out because
What's the schedule?
And I say that because they've already lost twice to the Bills. So they have no room, which they do have a soft schedule. Raiders, Patriots, Packers, Jets, Texans, Niners, Browns, Jets. If you take one or two of the 3 games against the Packers, Texans, and Niners, if you take 2 of those and you only lose one more, if they're 10-7,
with the way Houston's been playing, that schedule looks almost certain Miami can run the table. The team that concerns me is the Packers in Green Bay on Thanksgiving. That is going to be a very hard win for the Dolphins.
What game? The Texans?
No, the Dolphins play the Packers in Green Bay on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so let's.
But the Dolphins, they can run the table.
Let's just simulate it. I just want to see for funsies.
For funsies. Awesome.
So we're about to simulate week 18. So they have the Dolphins missing. They have the Bills. There's absolutely no way that the Texans get the 1 seed. How would the Texans get the 1 seed and the Chiefs be the 3? They're
Who's number
predicting.
one if Pittsburgh's 2?
They're predicting the Texans are 12-5, so they must not have the Texans losing another game. Let's reset, simulate again. I don't like that. I don't see the Chiefs falling to 3.
No. Well, I could. They really are a bad football team.
This has the Chiefs at 1, Bills 2, Ravens 3, Texans 4, and the Dolphins.
Oh, I like that.
This has the Bills being 14-3, so only one more loss. I'm guessing losing to the Chiefs. Yeah, because they'd be 9-3 in the conference. So this has the Dolphins going 5-12. This does not think the Dolphins are going to make a playoff run. This has the Patriots ahead of the Dolphins. Gosh, that's bad.
That's bad. That's really bad. But it's a simulator. We don't know what could happen. Injuries can occur. Tua could become an all-pro in the second half of the season.
Yeah. That'd be a fun game.
Yeah.
Chargers, Harbaugh playoff game.
They got to play each other here next week.
I know who I'm taking in that one.
I'm taking John.
All right, anyways.
Jim, fun fact. Well, I'll save it for that because I think that's the next game we're predicting anyway.
Okay.
Close to it.
Rams at Patriots. This is. Oh, did we make picks for the game? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins too. By the way.
Yeah. As for this one, give me the Patriots. I think the simulator was onto something. I mean, is it so crazy that we're talking about New England, a team that absolutely mopped the floor with Caleb Williams last week?
What do they have? They got the Patriots winning 26-17. Yeah, it's probably going to be cold in Foxborough tomorrow. It's probably going to be in the 40s. I mean, the Rams traveling across country. You know, that's give me the Patriots. I said they were going to be a 4 or 5 win team, and the simulators got them at 5, so it makes sense.
Both on New England. All right. Now the big 1 o'clock game, the one that almost the entire nation is going to be watching. Ravens at Steelers. Tyler, let me tell you why this is such an important game. Outside of the rivalry aspect of it, both these teams are sitting there with the first place possibility in the conference there. Lamar does not play well against the Steelers. There's 2 teams in the NFL really Lamar struggles against, and that's the Steelers and that's the Chiefs. He's only beaten Pittsburgh once in his career. Granted, half the time we've met up with them, he's been hurt. So last year we should have beat Pittsburgh. We should have, but instead I believe we got swept. And what really hurt was the game in Pittsburgh. We had almost 9 total drops by our receivers. I mean, nobody could catch. Zay was having a terrible day. This game is going to be a bloodbath. You've got a hard-hitting Ravens defense that leads the league in penalties. We just had 3 more players penalized and fined for face masks this week. And then you got a very physical, skilled set Steelers defense. This is going to get ugly. I do think Russell Wilson has a good game taking down the middle of the field. I don't think he's going to come in and slap us with his dick, though. Wilson's not going to be 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's not Joe Burrow. But in this game, Lamar needs to be perfect. The team needs to be perfect. One thing I'm highlighting in this game is Patrick Queen, the middle linebacker for the Steelers, lining up against his former team who he left in free agency to go against Derrick freaking Henry. Patrick Queen's been running that mouth on Twitter. Derrick Henry, I cannot wait. The first time Derrick Henry stiff arms Queen, or I hope he runs right through Queen and scores a touchdown, because that is going to be a gif for ages. Unfortunately, I've got to pump the brakes, Tyler. Every time this season I have picked the Ravens to lose, I have been wrong. And I hope psychology is on my side again, because This game's in Pittsburgh. It's hard to go into Pittsburgh and win. Tomlin's got a great defense. The offense is clicking on all cylinders, and Lamar just does not have it against Pittsburgh. So I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm taking the Steelers in this one, Tyler. I think Pittsburgh just edges it just enough to win, probably by a field goal. It's going to be close. It's going to be physical. It's going to be close. It ain't going to be no 40-point performance by Lamar. And I pray that I'm wrong. But give me Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna agree with you. Um, I don't know. Russ has been cooking lately, and we'll see if he can keep it going. I mean, the Ravens defense. You know, maybe it's just a Bengals thing. The Ravens defense just didn't look good last week. Um, I don't know. The Steelers got some sort of double magic. It's a really important game here. Let's see. If you pick, if you pick the Steelers, they go to 8-2, and the Ravens obviously down to 7-4. That's if you have.
The Ravens' loss here makes them 500 in the AFC North, with another game against Pittsburgh and another game against Cleveland down the road.
Yeah. You'd be 0-2 against the Steelers and Browns and 2-0 against the Bengals.
That's a real possibility, too. The Browns and the Steelers always play us tough. The Ravens with the Browns is always a coin flip, but the Steelers, in recent history, they've always just dominated us. Doesn't matter who we have on the field. They just find the way to win. It's usually self-inflicted gunshot wounds by the Ravens anyway, and we're famous for that, so.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a massive week for the AFC. I mean, when was the last time that you had 6 teams in the top 9 and really 8 of the first 10 playing each other? I mean, you have the top 2 right now. You have 3 versus 5. You have 6 and 9. You have 8 and 10. I mean, it's just insane. I don't know the last time that you had a week that impacted the standings so much in one conference. It's mind-boggling. It's going to be crazy to see what the AFC looks like in 27 hours at 11 o'clock on Sunday night.
It is going to be crazy. It is, but we're both taking Pittsburgh here. That's shocking. It's moments like this I kind of wish Josh was here because I would love to hear what he'd have to say. I mean, if he were to pick the Ravens, he'd have to defend Lamar, which is great. If he picks Pittsburgh, he's just going to crap on Lamar like he does every day. So it's a win-win for me, I guess. Falcons at Broncos. We've been talking about this AFC playoff picture, and Denver's right there in it. They've got one of the better defenses in the AFC this year. Bo Nix is starting to put some wins together. And what's interesting is Denver and Cincinnati have to play each other in a couple weeks. For the Bengals to make the playoffs, they need to win out. They got to beat the Chargers, and they got to beat Denver, and they've got to beat Pittsburgh. And those are 3 playoff teams ahead of them right now. So it's a lot of implications for Denver as well in this game. But Atlanta's been on a hot fire offense. Kirk Cousins is starting to get banged up with the injuries. I've actually heard rumors that Penix might be coming in here for the second half of the year to finish the season if Kirk can't keep up. But Bijan Robinson's been looking really good here. Sean Payton knows NFC South teams. He was with the Saints for a very long time. He has a great success rate against the Falcons. He knows how to beat them. And for that reason alone, Sean Payton being the X factor in this game, I am taking Denver to win and continue their push in the playoff race.
Let's see here. The Falcons lost a game you would have wanted to win against the Saints. I mean, they have been in some close games this year. Losing to the Seahawks 34-14. Man, almost beat the Chiefs. Lost to the Steelers week 1. This is a tough game, dude. I don't know. I mean,
It could go either way.
yeah, this is a sneaky good matchup of teams who are the Falcons. Are they looking? Are they outside? No, so they're the number 3 seed right now. Um, yeah, man. I guess you went Broncos.
I went Broncos.
All right, dude. Give me the Falcons just to go against you. I have no
All
reasoning.
right.
I have no reasoning other than that.
Seahawks at 49ers. Now, this is, if you would have looked at this game 10 years ago, you'd be getting your popcorn ready. It's still going to be a good matchup, but these two teams have been very underwhelming, I think. The Seahawks are performing under expectations, and so are the 49ers. They did get McCaffrey back. They looked good last week. Seahawks are getting Metcalf back this week. He historically plays well. It's hard to go into San Francisco and win, though, and I think the Niners are going to start really clicking on all cylinders now that the team's getting healthy in the second half of the season. So give me the Niners.
Yeah, I'm going with the Niners as well. The Seahawks, you know, I don't think they've been playing very well lately. Yeah, obviously the Bills beat them up. Um, they lost to the Rams last week. Yeah, I'm going Niners. Niners are hard to bet against, even if they're not fully healthy.
Now, a game that some are calling the game of the week. We've talked about this AFC weekend coming up here. The undefeated Kansas City Chiefs go to Buffalo for yet another cinematic matchup. Tyler, I'm going to let you take this one.
Well, that's really all you need to see. I don't know. You know, the Chiefs, they still got some guys. Um, I've said it, previously this week. We already ruled out Keon Coleman. He's out. Kincaid, he's out. Cooper, I don't know if he's a game time decision. I haven't heard with that. I almost think that what's going on here is the Bills are not playing to lose, but I think that they kind of know, hey, we're both going to make the playoffs. We're going to have to see this team again, more than likely, in 2 months. We have some guys that are banged up. We're heading into a bye. We're 8-2. No one expected us to be 8-2. We've got a handful game lead in the division, and I almost think that the Bills are okay with not showing the Chiefs everything that our offense has to offer. You know, we didn't have Keon Coleman last year. We didn't have Amari Cooper. Dalton Kincaid, it was his rookie year last year when we played the Chiefs. So I don't remember how big of a part he was in our offense. So, if it's like when I was on the phone with my dad a couple days ago and they ruled Kincaid out, I think it was Thursday. I told him it's kind of like a Dodgers Padres situation is, they play each other 12, 13 times a year, and then they had to go and play each other in the postseason. It's like, well, you kind of know what you're getting. And with the amount that the Chiefs and Bills have played in the past 4 years, I mean, they kind of know what they're getting, but, we've got a couple of new offensive pieces. So if it means, hey, we lose this game and but then we get Coleman back and, he avoids an injury and we don't have to worry about him, only being 80% this week or whatever he may be, Cooper and Kincaid, you know, kind of is what it is. Of course, I want to beat him, but it's the game that matters is in 2 months and a week. It's a potential divisional round or an AFC championship that matters. So, of course, I want the Bills to try. I want them to win, but we've seen it the past few years. We are 3-0 against the Chiefs the past 3 years in the regular season. And how many AFC championships did that get us? None. So, you know, of course, this is a big game. I want it to be a great game. I don't want it to be, more than an 8-point game either way. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going into it with, you know, I'm willing for my heart to be broken, you know, in a loss, but I want the Bills to win. Obviously, this is a game that we've had circled all year. You know, we're finally getting the Chiefs in the regular season in our place, which hasn't happened since 2020. Obviously the playoff game last year was in Buffalo, and that's all that ended. Um, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm gonna be excited. Does that mean tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm not gonna be posting memes on Twitter and Instagram about the Bills getting some revenge? Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. But I think the Chiefs are gonna end up pulling it out. I just hope there's not one play that you know, the, the refs decide the game. I don't want to see this game decided by the refs. I don't want to see the Ravens Steelers decided by the refs. I want it to be a great day of AFC football. And like my dad and I have said, I want to get your thoughts on this. I mean, I know what you're going to say, but if the Bills do win, with how injured we are and the lack of offensive weapons that we're going to have, I mean, if Cooper's out, there's a very good chance that Josh Allen is going to be throwing to Mac Hollins, Curtis Samuel, and a bunch of bums that you've never heard of. But if Josh can win this and finally beat the Chiefs, give them their first loss, and if he has like a couple highlight reel plays, do you think that would solidify Josh Allen as an MVP candidate?
If Lamar shits the bed this week against Pittsburgh, he's got 2 interceptions all year. If he has a 2-3 interception game, 1 passing touchdown, and takes a step back, I can definitely see this catapulting Josh Allen in front of him. Even if he wins this game, Josh Allen will definitely be in there. I still don't think it's enough to solidify it yet, man. I really don't. I mean, the Bills have beaten up on some teams we were expecting to be a lot better. We did see how they performed against the Ravens. To me, that Ravens Bills game was so early in the season, it's hard to say how much of an impact it could have now in the MVP race, especially in the playoffs if they meet. But if Allen can go through and win this game, which by the way, I think he will, I think it'll really help solidify it. And let me tell you why I'm taking the Bills in this one. Have ye little faith in the 12th man. Buffalo's fan base, the Bills Mafia, is insane. They are loud. Mahomes has been having a really off year. The Bills have a success rate against the Chiefs in the regular season. The crowd's going to be a huge factor in this game. The Chiefs are banged up too. Scroll down and look at the Chiefs report. They're just as banged up. Well, maybe not just. They have a lot of fulls, but they are banged up. And we know they still have other players on IR. I don't think Pacheco's returning this game, but Mahomes has been finding ways to win, and it's really been a part of his defense. But let me tell you about the Bills' defense, because you look at their injury report, a lot of their defense looks like they're full or very limited and ready to roll. And the defense is going to be the deciding factor in this game with the 12th man. I think the Bills' defense can do just enough to hold Mahomes to 14 points, maybe even 21. But I think they hold him to 14. Bills take this game by a field goal at the toe of Tyler Bass. He regains the trust of the fan base, and the Bills move on to 9-2. Chiefs get the first loss of the season.
If Tyler Bass were to win this game with a field goal, I would have tears. I mean, I just sat there and told you that, I think the Chiefs are going to win, but this game, it matters more emotionally than it does, I think, realistically, because I think the Bills have to make a statement and win for them to get any respect. Because if they win and they squeak it out, then it's going to be, oh, the Chiefs have, finally lost one. Or if the Bills, if the Bills lose a close one, it's going to be, they can't come through in the clutch. They can't beat Patrick Mahomes and blah blah blah. They can't beat a good team. If the Bills get blown out, I don't even want to think about what the media is going to say. It's going to be like, oh, the Bills, are they the Bills frauds? And so if the Bills were to win, I feel like it's one of those things where the media, might be, oh, well, we kind of knew the Chiefs were going to, have a hiccup and they're not that good. So I don't know. I just want to keep an eye on that. We can revisit that on Wednesday after 3 days of, hearing the media, or 2 days, 3 days, whatever. So I appreciate you taking the Bills. Appreciate it. Sorry I didn't take the Ravens. Sorry I didn't take the Ravens, but going into Pittsburgh is just tough.
It's going to be hard, and Lamar. You heard my explanation. If you didn't, go rewind it, guys. It'll be able to do so when the live stream's done. Prime time football, my favorite kind of football. You've got Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, who are finding their strides with a Greg Roman offense, hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, coming off an MVP performance by Joe Burrow and still losing. The Chargers defense has been really good this year. I believe they lead the league in turnover scoring. So Burrow's going to need to be perfect once again for them to win this game. With Justin Herbert's arguably the fifth best quarterback in the league right now. The Chargers offense is finding their stride. And the Bengals defense has just been at the suffering of this team the entire season. Burrow's got to be perfect to win this game. I don't think he can be against Jim. He knows how to beat these pro quarterbacks. He's been here before. People forget Jim took the 49ers and Colin Kaepernick to a Super Bowl. So give me the Chargers in this one, but I think it's going to be a really great game. You got to get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, going from Ravens Steelers right into Bills Chiefs, right into Bengals Chargers. Like I said, just an absolutely massive day for the AFC. You're getting to see, 6 of the top teams. You're getting to see all 5 of the best quarterbacks in the AFC. I think you're getting to see Herbert, Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, all 5 in one day against each other. I can't contain my excitement. I hope it delivers. I hope all 3 are close games.
Same here, even the Ravens game, which it will be. It always is. Monday Night Football, a game that at the beginning of the season looked really promising, a highlight game of the year. The Battle of Texas looks more one-sided in this one. You got Cooper Rush. I believe he's starting again. The offense did not play well against the Eagles. He had a little bit of success a few years ago. If he could get this offense moving, the Dallas defense is good enough to win this game. But Houston, the offense has been struggling outside of Joe Mixon. I think he has a great game here again. Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat. We know that. And the injuries are just... But the injury to the quarterback there, it really hurts the Cowboys' season. So give me Houston in this one.
I want to check out Houston's injury report real quick. Let's see here. Is Will Anderson playing? Do we know that? Status out. That's a pretty large list.
I feel like Nico and Tank Dell are going to play, though. And look at the bottom half of the list. They're all playing. Jimmy Ward's going to be playing. Larmy Tunsil's going to be playing.
Yeah, but if the Cowboys can get pressure on the Texans' O-line, we've seen that the O-line is not good at all. So.
Yeah, but look, you got Trayvon Diggs questionable. You've got Micah Parsons questionable. Those are 2 big defensive pieces. Eric Kendricks, they brought him over from Minnesota. He's been playing good too. He's questionable. I like Houston in this one. I don't see a road where Dallas wins. Maybe if they play Trey Lance and he pops off like Sam Darnold had to start the season.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans as well, but this is a sneaky game for the Texans. I mean, the Cowboys. I don't know if the drama that's been going on the past month with them is larger than the hunger to get a win. I I don't know. I don't know if they can put something together and play 60 minutes of football, and possibly make an upset here. I'm not sure. But let's look at this again. Let's simulate this. Let's see here. I love this website. I know it's we're only halfway through the year, but this this makes
It's fun.
it makes it really fun when you're in the last few weeks of the year and you're like, oh well, yeah, man, look at that. We
I would
could
not like to see that.
we could get a third Bengals Ravens matchup.
It is hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season, let alone we beat the Bengals by 3 the first time and 1 the second time. I would hate that matchup.
That's an interesting matchup right there. I would take the Steelers. That would be Ravens at Chiefs and Steelers at Bills. Oh my
That's tough.
goodness, to go to the AFC Championship. Wow. Of course.
That's the playoff picture the AFC wants to see. Let's say Lamar does it. Say Lamar does it. Come on, man. You got to do it. This has to be the year he does it.
Come to Buffalo. Derrick Henry.
End game.
Derrick Henry in January in Buffalo is not something I want to see. Oh my gosh, I guess I'm going. Isn't this? Haven't they played past couple years?
They played last year, too. The Bucks eliminated them
Yeah.
as a wild card team.
Oh, that's a fun game. The Packers and the Niners have a long playoff history.
Packers.
Packers, okay.
Falcons.
All right. Wow.
The Battle of the Birds.
And we've got the Lions and the Packers. Oh my.
We already know how that went in the regular season.
Yeah.
Detroit, Ford Field, Dome Stadium. Weather conditions aren't there. Falcons, I think, could take the Eagles.
I gotta go Eagles.
Oh,
Eagles just have so much more experience. Wow.
Lions, Ravens, Super Bowl would feed families. That would just be. That would please the Northeast or the North Central, I guess, right there around the lakes. Call that the Lake Bowl.
2 number 1 seeds making it. That's the Lake Erie Bros right there. Let's see another simulation here. Let's see what happens here. I really didn't like the one earlier where it had the Bills as the 4 seed. Oh, this one has Ravens and Steelers. Okay. Chargers Texans. Wow, that's a game. I'm gonna go Chargers. And then you want the Ravens to go into Pittsburgh.
No comment. You pick.
Chargers at Bills, Chiefs and Steelers. Wow. This one has the Commanders making it as the 5 seed. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, the Eagles sneak into number 2. Nobody's taking Detroit out of number 1. They've been number 1 every simulation we've done.
Yeah. Let's just go Commanders for fun. And then we'll see who the Lions are playing. If they're playing the Commanders or the Vikings.
Eagles.
Man, poor Packers. Got to lose to the Niners again. Commanders, Lions. Yeah, I'm going Lions. I'm going. Yeah, I'm going a rematch of last year.
Give me Steelers. Give me Bills.
Wow.
Okay,
Steelers,
give me
Bills. That would be.
that. Last year, a very terrible matchup. This year, cinema.
I think it would be a lot better this year. Oh man,
That would be an AFC championship that would please a lot of people.
man, that would be gross. All right, one more. Let's see.
One more for the road.
Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get Buffalo in a spot other than the 1 seed. Both times they've been a 1. Oh, they're still the 1. Wow.
Ravens number 2.
This one has the Colts making it. Wow. And the Cardinals.
Joe Flacco.
And the Seahawks. This one has the Packers out. Falcons out. Eagles out.
I'm looking at Joe Flacco coming to Baltimore to take on the Ravens in the wild card round. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
You mean Anthony Richardson?
I think they switch back to Flacco or Richardson gets hurt.
Wow.
If he takes one injury.
Chargers at Chiefs. Again, it's hard to be the same team 3 times. I'm going to go with all the home teams there.
I'd pick the Chargers, man. The Chargers haven't beaten the Chiefs yet. And the Chargers always play the Chiefs close. Let's say for this shits and giggles, the Chiefs don't make it past this wild card round. Look at that playoff picture. You've got the same game you're going to be watching on Christmas here in the playoffs a few weeks later, and you got the Chargers coming to Buffalo.
Wow. You got Justin Herbert making the playoffs, going to Buffalo. You got Justin Herbert going to Kansas City and Buffalo 2 weeks in a row. Oh my goodness, that poor guy. Then let's pick this. Cardinals, Vikings. What do you see here?
Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Wow.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Can they contain Jay Jettas? I'm going Niners. Seahawks aren't beating them. Lions is the 5 seed. That's crazy. Oh, I said Eagles were out. Eagles are the 1. I guess I was so used to the Lions being the 1, I didn't even see the Eagles. My goodness.
Cardinals over the Eagles, maybe?
Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray? Jalen Hurts, the replacement at Oklahoma? Wow.
Kyler Murray?
Getting this
Video
matchup,
game numbers?
getting this matchup in the divisional round would be crazy.
It would be. I mean, there's just, in my opinion, there's no way the Lions don't get the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, falling to number 5 to the Vikings would be crazy. After they have the Vikings going 13-4. Wow. I gotta go Lions again. Lions are so good.
Wow.
But maybe
Arbog Bowl in the conference championship? Question mark?
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, I know.
Come on.
That's the most logical matchup.
Man.
In this one, we'll say the Bills. Somehow the Bills make it to their first Super Bowl in a couple decades. So does Detroit.
That would break apart our podcast would have ripple effects for years.
Ripple effect for years. Guys, take a picture of this right now. This is the official J&T playoff prediction.
How many teams? Let's see how many teams of this prediction right here actually get in. I don't think the Seahawks are getting in. I don't think the Colts are getting in.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, but the Colts, man, going from 4-6 to getting in the playoffs would be crazy. I mean, they switched quarterbacks multiple times in the same. This is the Dolphins making it. This is the Dolphins. You want to bring Tua in, and you're lackluster pass defense have to defend Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
It's cold in Baltimore in January, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Ugh, gosh. Yeah, that website, a lot of fun.
Addicting. Fun
Yeah.
and addicting.
Yeah. Especially because
All
there's
right,
so
well,
many
guys,
bad teams that are on the fringe. I mean,
there's so many teams that are bad with 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, but a lot of those teams are still alive.
let's check out this standings. Yeah, I mean, you've got I think the AFC is a lot more wide open than the NFC because I mean, even though the Bears are the 9 seed, no one's talking about the Bears making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Bears firing their staff after the year. You've got people that are, talking about Miami could win out and make the playoffs as the 10 seed. But I think the NFC is an 8-horse race, and really, how many teams on here do you trust of the top 8? Do you trust Washington?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't. Do you trust Minnesota or Arizona or Atlanta to make a deep run? I don't. I think it's between Detroit, Philadelphia, Green Bay, and then, the Niners. I don't want the Niners to. If I'm an NFC team, I don't want the Niners to, to sneak in. Even if they don't win the division, man, you gotta play the Niners first round. If you're say the Falcons win the division and the Niners get the 5 seed. No, if I'm the Falcons, I don't want the Niners coming in first round. That's a terrible
I
matchup.
wouldn't either.
No, that's terrible. I mean, but again, if you're the 4 seed here, whoever wins the AFC South, but you got to presume is going to be the Texans. I mean, if you're the Texans and you got Baltimore or Pittsburgh coming in, or Cincinnati, even if they go on a run, oh man, gonna be some tough matchups for some division winners.
There will be, absolutely. Great possibility for these playoffs, man. Great possibilities.
Yeah. All
Well,
right, man.
guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for content. Let us know what you think about our picks. And yeah, we'll see you guys here on Monday, hopefully.
All
What
right.
does Josh usually say? He says something like, Damar Hamlin, we love you. Don't die this week.
Yeah. Trade Jamar. I don't know. Keep Jamar.
Trey Jamar,
All
keep him, pay him.
right. Go Bills.